Hey, thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Storm Collectibles DC Injustice Gods Among Us Doomsday. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in the following categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once those scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So if you've been looking for this figure, you know that it has been sold out for at least a month. I was able to pick this up at the Bluefin exclusive event. I have no idea if it's still available through Bluefin. So for accessories, Doomsday does not come with much. I think this will be one of my quicker reviews. So let's just take a look at the second head sculpt that he comes with. And to my surprise, I actually like this expression one, perhaps better than the original. The eyes are painted exceptionally well. Even in the mouth, it's painted. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit, try to angle the lighting so that you can see there are a few colors. The tongue is a slight burgundy, and around the mouth, it looks to be purple. So very happy with this head sculpt here. In addition to the head sculpt, you receive 3 pair of hands. 2 hands on the figure are fisted, and the hands look good. They also have color, some shading. And if you're wondering, this hair is soft, but it does have a pointy tip to it. The same thing with the claws. They are very soft, and they have sort of a gloss finish, which I really like. These hands are done very well. So for accessories, he comes with a little, but Doomsday is one of those characters that do not have blast effects or special effect pieces. What I feel we could have gotten more is perhaps another head sculpt, maybe additional hands, and they could have threw in that sort of damaged earth effect piece that Tamashi has. So for accessories, I'm going to give Doomsday a 6 out of 10. So for articulation, I'm going to keep the camera held up a bit as this figure is tall, and once he's in my hand, I want to make sure that I keep this on camera. So I'm actually going to tilt it up just a bit more. Okay, so for the head, it's able to look up exceptionally high. I'm very surprised at that. It's able to look all the way down. And if you can see, you have a lot of mobility in this neck area here. So the head itself leans back that much. If you push back, you get some great range. So I'm happy with that. The head is able to rotate a full 360 if you choose to. And without a question, you receive pivot, and it's exceptional. And if I haven't mentioned, he's able to nearly bury his chin into his chest. Now, looking at the arm, it's able to... kind of don't like how that felt. The arm is able to come up about that much without falling off, which in my opinion is good for a figure this size. It's able to do a full 360 if you choose to, and this figure is just too big. I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so with that, you have a butterfly joint bending in about that much. I'm very happy. Bending back about that much. You do have a bicep cut. Elbows are single jointed, still bending in a good amount for such a big figure. And the wrists are on the ball peg. If you line it properly, you can get it to go up and down as well as side to side. So moving to the torso, we have my favorite A and B portion. So with the top, let me stop for a moment, because I know in the video you're going to hear some banging. That's because the bottom of the legs are flopping around a little bit. So back to the upper portion of the torso, it's able to bend back. Wow, exceptionally well. It's able to bend, got some gappage there. Bend forward pretty good. Using the combination of the two, he's able to go way back, way forward. You do get rotation, great amount of pivot. So now moving on to the legs, they're able to kick forward that much, back about that much. You do have rotation, no swivel below the knee. Knees are double jointed, bending in about that much. With the foot is able to go forward that much, down that much, and great pivot. What happened to Sub-Zero? And you also have a cut in the foot, which bends up about that much. And just to go back to this piece here, it is Fully functional. You can move it around. Not sure why you can, but you can. So for articulation, man, I have to say this thing is exceptional. I'm very surprised with how good it actually is. The head is fantastic. The upper torso, the entire torso is just a marvel to work with. The arms work exceptionally well. I'm happy with the range on that single jointed elbow. The perhaps one, and I don't want to say issue, the one complaint is that under the knee we don't receive any rotation, but I feel that with the upper rotation it just works well for this leg. And the ankles, the feet are phenomenal. So this is actually better than the Sub-Zero, which I just reviewed. So for overall articulation, I'm going to give this big guy 9 out of 10. So for design, I couldn't stop thinking that the head is just too small. That's not on Storm Collectibles. It is true to the source material. And I was saying that I don't think that this is my favorite version of Doomsday. But other than the head, I think it actually is. I went to look back at my old Mattel Doomsday images, because I don't know where he is at this moment. And in my opinion, this one is a lot better than that figure. I want to zoom in a little bit so I can focus on certain parts. Focus on the whitish areas so that you can see all of the shadowing effect that's going through it. Just continues all over the figure. And if you look at the body itself, there's also shading. You can see the spikes sort of protruding out here as well as up top. And if you move down to his pants, the shading continues. There's a darker color over the green. Very clean paint, excuse me, with the black. Even the buckles are painted. Very nice scope work. There's lines throughout. And that shading just continues onto the legs. Very happy with this. I didn't really show the head sculpt that comes on the figure. This is the one that comes on him. And it looks good, just too small in my opinion. But it really looks good. The hair portion here, it is very flexible, but it does not stay in place. So for design, this is my favorite version of Doomsday right now. And I'm going to give this guy a 10 out of 10. So is this figure essential to your collection? If you are a DC fan, if you are a Superman fan, then absolutely. Now, we do have a few versions of the big guy. Many years back, Mattel has made a version which is probably close to this one in scale. Not too long ago, was it the Multiverse line? They did one as well, a bit smaller in scale. And there was another one that came with Superman in his 2-pack. I don't remember if that was a DC Direct figure or something different. So you do have a few options to get this guy. And if you're not really into the Injustice video game, maybe one of the other options may suit you a bit better. So is he essential to your collection? The answer is yes. I will be deducting a few points only because you can go back, you can pick up some other figures, and depending on scale, this guy may be too large for you. So as far as being essential to your collection, I'm going to give Doomsday an 8 out of 10. So for functionality, let's start with the head. That took a lot of force to actually pull off, and actually hurt my hands as they got caught around the spikes on his chin, which are sharp and not as soft as some of the other areas on his body. So the head goes on easy enough. So just coming down, this area here tabs in. For whatever reason, this peg is out on this part, and I've been unable to tab it back in, mainly because this piece is soft, as well as this part of the upper torso is extremely flexible. So as I'm trying to push this through, it just won't stay. Perhaps I can heat it up and get it through, but I'm not going to even bother. I'll tell you why at the end of this video, or the functionality part. So now just moving down on the figure for a moment, the pants are extremely soft, and I like that because it allows for the body to move. It allows for the leg to go up and get as much range as possible. And for the stand test, the figure stands very easy on his own. I want to take a moment and show you the hands that he comes with. In order to swap out the hands, you'll just pull. There's a huge ball peg there. Grab the hand of your choice. Nice, tight fit. And the hand goes on very easy. Another area I want to show is the softness of the upper portion of the torso. I really like that it's that soft because it allows for you to really make use of this butterfly joint, which comes off a bit too easy. It also allows for you to get good movement from the head. This was a phenomenal job done with the upper part of this figure. So with the exception of this and a slight issue with the butterfly joint, this seems exceptional. Yes, it would be, however, my figure is way too loose. The arms aren't so bad, but they do go back a lot easier, back and forth a lot easier than I would like. The upper part of the torso, I think I'm okay with this as well. Now, to where it's a huge issue is the legs. Now it's not falling as it was before. But the legs on this figure are extremely floppy. And this is a no-no. Because in time, this figure will not be able to stand. I was unsure if he would actually be able to stand once I got him out of the box. Just to show you the arm again, here we are. This is loose. Too loose for my liking. And because the legs are so loose, he doesn't stand as easy as he should. So for functionality, I want to tell you where I'm actually deducting points. I'll be taking 1 point from each leg. I'll also be taking 1 point from this arm. Not this particular arm, as it's not as loose as this one. I will also be deducting a point for this part that will not tab back in. So for overall functionality, I'm giving Doomsday a 6 out of 10. So for pricing, Doomsday comes in at a whopping $104. That's before taxes, that's before shipping. Combine the two, you're looking at a price point of around $125. That's pretty much half of a hot toy. So is Doomsday worth the price of admission? Let's first see what he comes with. As far as accessories, he is on the light end, coming with a few pair of hands and just one interchangeable head sculpt. I wish we would have seen a few additional things. In the game, he has a move to where he hits the floor and sort of this sonic wave comes around him. Storm Collectible could have certainly done something that was similar, as I feel they have some effect pieces that could have matched that. Aside from the accessories, let's look at the figure itself. He is absolutely an intimidating figure, painted extremely well and certainly on the large side. I typically do not measure my figures, but Doomsday stands at nearly 10 inches tall. I actually thought he was a bit taller than that. This figure comes with some extraordinary articulation, better than some of the ninjas from Storm Collectibles, which is very disappointing. There's no question that this is one of the better releases that I have seen all year. So for pricing, I'm going to give Doomsday an 8 out of 10. That will give Doomsday an overall cliff score of 47 out of 60, and that score would have been higher if it wasn't for the looseness of the limbs. Not sure if this is with all the Doomsday or mines. I have contacted Tamashii Nations or Bandai for a return. Not the easiest process to return this figure, but we'll see if it's just with this one or if it's with all of them. So now, is this figure a pass or a purchase? This figure is absolutely a purchase. If you are a Superman fan, if you're looking to have huge villains in your lineup, don't miss out on this one again, as I'm pretty sure if it's not sold out already, it will be relatively soon. Storm Collectible has been pumping out a lot of figures this year, which I'm very happy. I hope that continues into 2021. This is a figure that you do not want to miss. Doomsday is a big boy. Here he is standing by himself. I'm just going to leave the camera going for this one. Here he is standing next to Mortal Kombat's Raiden. Here he is next to Hanzo from World Heroes. Here he is next to Lobo from DC Justice Among Us. I have not reviewed this figure as of yet. I will be reviewing it, however. And Lobo's a pretty big figure, but man. Here he is next to the Parademon. I think this was DC New 52 line from DC Direct. Could be wrong. But we're going to keep going. Just want to get down to some of my bigger figures. Here he is next to the Marvel Select Abomination. This is an extraordinary figure. He definitely has Doomsday and girth, but overall height, Doomsday still wins. Let's just see if I can get them a little closer together. Ah, there we go. All right, let's go to keeping with big guys. Here's Marvel Select Juggernaut. And these Marvel Select figures are extraordinary. They are pretty old, but fantastic. All right. 2 more. So I had to dig deep in the woodwork to come out with this one. But here he is next to Doomsday. These legs are super wobbly. So I'm going to have to hold this one. But there he is. You're telling me that this Doomsday doesn't look better than this one? And for my last comparison, here he is. Next to Darkseid, which just towers over Doomsday. Don't ask me what line this is from. I don't remember. The legs are extremely floppy, so I don't have to hold them. So thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I hope to catch you during the next review.